So it's an interesting selection of pens on the table.
And it's not a small selection of pens.
No. And technically we're missing one because Maya's got one. So this is not all the sailors in the household.
Okay, but there's there's one more.
Yes, there's one more in the household. Maya's is, off in France right now.
Yes.
So we could not include it in the sailors in the household video. Because have two sailors.
I do. And they are in here.
They are. And I now have many sailors.
Where do you want to start? Closest to you, closest to me.
Let's start closest to you because they are two of the same pen, or a pen that looks the same. One is the 1911L and one is the 1911S. And I want to say these both have the same size nib on them.
Well, they're a special, were they a limited edition through Fountain Pen Hospital?
They were both limited edition of 80. It's called Blue Moon. And it's sort of fun that we have got them now in both sizes.
Yes. So this one's mine. This is the 1911L.
Yes. And it's got a medium hard 21 karat gold nib on it. And mine is the 1911S with a 14 karat gold medium hard nib on it.
Right. And are they they're the same.
What?
They're
So the nib size is different. If you look, one's bigger.
So is yours a 5 and mine's a 6? Or?
No, Sailor uses their own nib system.
All right. They write beautifully.
They do. I don't even know what ink's in mine. I believe that's Fair Swell Press Harlequin Dreams.
And I'm going to be writing upside down. And I don't do that. What am I going to do?
I don't know.
I'm going to do Endless.
Well, that's fitting, seeing as we're using Endless Regalia paper.
So my ink is Sailor Manual Haha, which is... I always have a pen inked up with it.
So this is FWP.
How do you remember? Like, I know Sailor Haha, but I only have like 8 or 9 pens.
Because honestly, when you look at my purples, Harlequin Dreams, I'm going to hit it somewhere. It really stands out in its swatch.
Okay.
Because when I look at it, I go, like, it's...
Yeah. I'm also surprised that you would put, you're so matchy-matchy, I was a bit surprised that you put a purple in there.
Because inked on paper, in the swatch it doesn't look as similar, but on paper...
It does read blue.
It reads blue.
Yeah. A completely different blue from mine.
A completely different blue from yours, but very blue. And also, none of my blues were bright.
Well, that one's not bad. What's that?
Yeah. I didn't have that at the time. That's a new Birmingham Pen Company color from the show, though.
Ah.
Didn't have it.
Right. I'm still amazed at the number of people that came up to you at the Chicago Pen Show and handed you bags of Birmingham samples.
There were 27 unique Birmingham Pen Company colors I received at the show.
Did you get one double?
I got
1 or 2.
2 Tesla coils, and I already had a Tesla coil, and I got 1 cold steel, and I already had a cold steel at home. All of them, though, Tesla coil and cold steel colors I love, and so really happy to have doubles of them. All right, up next, another 2 pens that look very similar, but are very different pens. Yours is from the Drink series and is Angel's Delight.
Yes.
It's a Pro Gear, which is not my preferred pen size.
No, you prefer a Pro Gear Slim. So, do you want to pull out your scone?
I will pull out my scone. And I picked this up at Gold Spot. I think I picked up the last one at Gold Spot. So yours is white, mine's cream, mine is sparkly, yours is matte. Yours isn't matte. Yours is like,
well, it's
shiny, but not sparkly.
And it's mildly translucent.
Yeah, mine is mildly translucent as well, but not as much as yours. And when you open them, mine has a sparkly grip section and yours has a pink grip section.
Yeah. And mine is 21 karat.
Yep. Yours is a medium hard. Mine had a medium nib in it.
And what does it have now?
It now has a zoom nib in it.
And how did that happen?
Because Maya's pen,
Oh, the pen that's not here.
the pen that's not here, had a zoom nib in it. But for her first sail, I was not giving her a zoom nib, but it was the color for Maya.
Right.
It was the right color. And so the medium nib that was in this pen went into Maya's pen, and the zoom nib that was in Maya's pen went into my pen.
Very good.
I don't know what's inked in this, but I can tell you I utterly adore it.
Is that?
Oh, it's...
Is that the same?
Nope. I know what it is. I know what it is. It's this.
Oh, what is that?
It's the new Tasha ink I got at Chicago.
Oh, okay.
I love a zoom.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
I know.
The way the color breaks out.
I know. It's fun.
And I think this is, I'm just going to do it. Too much coffee. I can't think this morning.
I think that's Yamabudo.
Yamabudo?
I think so. It looks right.
So I got them in, we got the pens in Chicago.
Yeah, that's Yamabudo.
And inked them up right away. We were so excited to have them.
Yes.
And I never write down what inks I'm putting in pens.
No, and I tend to keep track of what I'm inking in your pen so that I know what to re-ink them with.
Yeah. But Chicago was really busy.
Chicago was really busy. And there were moments at Chicago that we were just like coming up to the room and inking things. So I've changed the order a little bit because I decided I wanted to start with what was inked before we got into what we have to dip.
Okay.
This is the Salem Magno Red Bean.
So these are all Pro Gear Slims.
These are all Pro Gear Slims. So they're all 14 karat gold nibs. And this has a medium nib in it, which is fine. I really like the medium hard that's in this. I may at some point swap this nib into this pen.
What's the difference between a medium and a medium hard? Is medium hard stainless steel?
No. So they used to do soft, standard, and hard nibs.
Okay.
They used to do 3 different types of nibs. You really don't see those markings anymore. They just do one type now.
Okay.
Some people say they've just moved to the hard nibs. I don't feel that way with the new Sailor nibs, that they're all the hard nibs. Like this one is very clearly different than the new medium nibs I have.
Okay.
So this will definitely be going in something at some point.
Right.
That I use more often. Potentially this, potentially, I was going to say one of the Flowers pens, but they have special nibs, like they have engraved nibs.
Okay.
So this is the...
You can hear the feedback.
You can.
It's a harder nib.
Yeah, but it's not like... Like it sounds slightly softer.
Okay.
I don't actually know what color this is. I thought I had the Red Bean ink in here.
You did do the Red Bean ink in it, didn't you?
One would think. Well, maybe I did.
Yeah. I'm positive
that
you put the Red Bean ink in it.
Now I'm going, is this actually the
Azuki?
Is Azuki the Red Bean ink or is it Akamai?
I don't know. I think it's Azuki. I almost have to go and track down the box.
What's in that mess of bottles over there?
Yeah, no.
Seems like a lot of work. All right.
This is your very first sailor. I remember when you got it, you were so excited.
I, in the studio cleanup a couple days ago, found the receipt for it.
There you go.
I found the little slip that we had to take to the Cash Atlas to buy it.
Yeah, so you bought this at the Atlas Sidewalk sale last August.
And it also now has a different nib in it. There was a bit of musical nibs going on at Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I had put out that I was looking for a music nib. Somebody went, oh, I'm willing to part with one of my music nibs. So this now has a music nib in it. That person took my broad nib. And then later on in the show, I saw them swapping my broad nib, swapping the nib from that they had taken from this pen into somebody else's pen. And then at one point I saw one of my friends talking about her new Sailor broad nib in a pen that looked shockingly like the pen that broad nib had gone into that was originally in my pen. So there was some musical nibs going on, which I think was really fun, because it now means that I got the nib I want, and one of my friends got, through this really weird chain, a nib that was originally mine.
And this is it Follow the Mermaid?
It is.
I want to spend some time with that music nib.
Yeah. So
I think I would really like it.
I will say I don't have there's a very specific scripty way to write with a music nib that I don't have.
That you don't know how to do.
That I don't know how to do.
Right.
There were some people at the Chicago Pen Show that we saw writing with the music nibs that had that skill of being able to do it. I just think it makes my writing look really cool.
Yeah. No, it's a great nib. It really is. I'd like to get a music nib. It's on my list.
Number 6 in it, which was a show pickup. It's a discontinued color from Tasha. It had been on my list for a bit. I'm a fan of muted blues. And we found it from the guy that was selling inks for...
Oh, he was destashing his collection.
He was destashing his collection.
My goodness, we got some cool inks out of that.
That's what it is.
Yep.
It's very pretty. I like it. I just think it makes my write, like compared to something like that, like the Zoom. And I like that I've now got both of like the standardly available Sailor specialty nibs.
It's a bit like Stub.
Yeah.
But it has I don't know how, but it has a softer edges. The stub lines are very clear.
And it's unlike...
almost exaggerated.
So it's got a single slit. Lots of the other music nibs on the market have 3 slits. Oh. Sorry, have 2 slits. So that you've got 3 tines. And I want to try some of those.
Okay.
I tried Debs last year at Chicago. That was the first time I tried a music nib in hand. Was Debs that Annabelle had just tuned. So the first music nib I ever tried was perfectly tuned, which is a very dangerous place to start.
Yes. Start with perfection.
Start with an Annabelle Hiller tuned music nib that has only ever been used by one person, which was Deb.
Right.
Dangerous.
All right. So these 3 are part of a set.
They're part of a set. And I will say, if this isn't proof that I'm not a completist, nothing else will convince people that I'm not a completist, because there are 4 pens in the set.
And you could have had the 4th.
And I could have had the 4th. I could have come home with the 4th.
Which was it Mimosa?
It was Mimosa.
Which is orange.
Which is orange.
Or peachy orange.
And I don't do orange. I've got a couple yellowy golden pens in my collection that I really like.
Yeah.
But I don't like orange. And so I got the ones I liked.
Fair enough.
They only came in really limited nib sizes. We're seeing that a lot more with Sailors right now, that they're only coming in medium, fine, and fine.
Okay.
Which is sad, because you're missing out on things like broad, music, Zoom, especially broad, because then you're limited. You're already limited in nib grinds because Sailors are small.
Right.
Even if you decide to get a nib grind on a Sailor, which most people won't.
I thought Sailor nibs were kind of revered, and you didn't unless tuning is one thing, but you didn't really muck about.
I would actually say the tuning out the
feedback.
Yeah, like that is, Sailor is known for their feedback that isn't scratchy.
Okay.
Like when you've got
Yes.
this.
No, I know from Scratchy. I had
Yeah.
Annabelle declaw my cat pen.
Yeah. So it makes a sound, but it's not scratchy.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. And that's a trait of Sailor pens.
Okay.
There are people that smooth out their Sailor nibs, but then when you go to sell those pens, people will say,
it doesn't sound right.
Nib has been smoothed to remove Sailor feedback. So 3 pens. I got 1 of them in a medium and 2 in a medium fine.
Okay.
I was going to dip all of them. I think.
What's this set called? Do you know?
Dried flowers.
Dried flowers. So
we're going to look at all of them. I don't know that we're going to dip all of them because really the 2 medium fines write almost identically.
So which one is that?
This is lavender. And
Lavender.
This is a medium fine.
And this is rose.
This is rose. That's the other medium fine. I love the grip sections on these.
The contrasting grips.
And that the end caps match the grip sections.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool. So we're going to dip lavender, and then because that one's the other medium fine, I'm not going to dip it because there's no point in me dipping all the medium fines. And then this.
Oh, isn't that interesting? The grip sections I find quite unexpected.
Yes. So I will say hydrangea was the most unexpected to me.
Yes.
When I saw the previews for it, because it is blue.
It is very blue, and it's not a blue that you would ever see in a hydrangea. Which is weird.
And then this is the medium. And so we're going to dip these 2.
Okay.
And we're going to use my handy dandy new inkwell from Tori over at Stationery Universe. I don't know that she actually had any of these to sell behind the table at Chicago.
Well, it's not so much a well as a stabilizer with a
pen rest.
Pen rest, which your pen just slid out of.
And my pen's wee.
So what's the color?
It is Renoir from Mont Blanc. There we go.
That is I find that to be a very fine nib.
It is. And yet, they have a fine. They've got an extra fine.
What's my 911? 1911 rather?
It's a medium.
It's a medium.
So this is...
And this must be a medium as well.
This is a medium. So this is a half size. Sailor does half sizes. So this is a half size smaller than this. And this.
Okay.
It's a half size.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to try it?
I have to move things out of the way.
Yeah. I know you don't like small, but it is a...
I find a wider nib more expressive.
I was talking about the Pro Gear Slim size.
Oh, that doesn't bother me. I really like the Faber-Castell Neo Slim.
Oh, okay.
And it's quite slim.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it's any wider than my Pelican Jazz, and that's my daily driver.
That's true. This probably wouldn't be the ink and pen combo I'd go with because this is a pretty dry ink and this is a pretty thin nib.
Yeah. There's definitely there is a sound.
Yes. So this is the medium,
right,
which is hydrangea. And I like Sailor medium nibs, but it felt weird to get this pen and this pen and this pen in a medium.
I think it's just the way we write, maybe the way we hold the pen or the angle that I'm on, because I still think this, like my printing or my writing looks.
You also might press down more than I do.
Maybe.
I keep my hand pretty light.
Yeah.
Because like that compared to that.
Mm-hmm.
So medium fine to medium.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry.
Sorry. As I stab you with a pen.
It's all right. Which one is this one? Hydrangea?
Hydrangea.
Ugh. Well, I'm not going to be writing hydrangea.
So it is a
Yeah.
little, yeah, it's a little bit
You
thicker.
can see the difference.
Yeah.
What was this nib?
It's a zoom. It's this one.
Okay. Yeah, Zoom and music are just so.
I know.
They lay down so much ink.
They do. And this
Those are fantastic nibs.
This thing is fun. I like it. I'm glad I got one.
So I'm going to focus on nibs.
Mm-hmm.
The pens are great.
Pens are great, but nibs.
But nibs. I've been abundantly clear about my love of the stub.
Yes.
And if I wanted to purchase, can one purchase Zoom and music nibs from Sailor? Like if I wanted to put a music nib in here.
No, that's the whole thing about Sailors. You have to buy them in a pen.
Oh, that's a drag.
So that's why there was all this swapping of nibs. And recently that's why it's been such a drag that Sailor's only coming out with small nib sizes.
Right.
So there are people like Yoast that do swap nibs.
Okay.
Yoast, I had the discussion when I was over on Applebaum with Yoast, because they will have Sailors available in nib sizes that the pen didn't come in.
Okay.
Because they understand that some people are going to want a Zoom nib or a music nib.
Right.
And they're willing to pull them from pens that aren't selling as well and put them in a different pen if somebody's looking for a nib.
Which I would expect any pen retailer to do that. That if better to sell the pen than sell the pen that the customer client is looking for with the nib that they would like. Like what we saw Esterbrook doing. Esterbrook has a box,
swaps nibs,
and they swap nibs. When you buy an Esterbrook, especially an Esterbrook at a show, you will get it in the nib that you want.
Yeah, I would say only at a show you get that. It's less common anywhere. Anderson pens used to, because specialty nibs were so hard to come by for Esterbrook's,
right,
used to just list the specialty nibs they had available.
Right.
And you would have to, you could put any of those, you could put the specialty nib in any of their,
can I flip this around?
Yeah. Available Esterbrook pens.
Right.
But you could only get the specialty nib with the purchase of an Esterbrook pen. I think that's a smart way to do specialty nibs, because there are some specialty nibs still available in pens at places like Goldspot and Atlas, but only in certain models. So then if you change your angle, if you change the angle of the pen.
What do you mean change the angle of the pen?
So if you hold it like this, the closer it is to the page, or the higher up you hold it, the thicker and or thinner the line gets.
Oh, that's wild.
Yes.
Okay. So straight up and down. Angled. Oh, that's really cool.
Yes, that's why.
Does it reverse?
I don't know. I haven't tried it reverse. I don't know. Yes, it's
Incredibly
an extra fine reverse.
extra fine on reverse.
Well,
Wow.
that's practical.
That's really cool. Sorry, and which one is the music nib in?
This one, Follow the Mermaid. Because that's the nib I originally wanted in that pen, and I couldn't get in that pen.
Yep. I know, I remember.
I almost got blue quasar. I almost wonder if I got blue quasar, if I'd still be as in love with sailors as I am. Or if getting blue quasar in the nib I wanted, but in a body I hated, I would have just gone meh.
I think I just did that backwards.
I don't know.
I'm so out of practice.
Wow.
And I'm lefty, so I like to do things backwards.
There's some sailor nibs. I will leave a link to Tori's shop down below if she still has any of these left. I don't know that she does, because I think all of them sold at the pre-Chicago Pen Show party.
Yeah, before it ever
opened. Because I bought mine, and people saw me buying mine, and suddenly they were all gone.
Yep.
But if there are any left, I will leave the link down below. Because
Excellent.
They're super great. And they've got a little coaster on the bottom so that if you spill ink,
The little bit of cork sops it up.
mm-hmm.
Well, there we go. Sailor pens, sailor nibs.
You got to have a play with some things.
Yeah, that was great.
Thanks.
Always educational.
All right. Hope you enjoyed the video.